Caliber. I'd like to welcome in everybody that is listening. I have Tony Scott alongside here as well. And it's to our understanding that there are some technical difficulties here out in Omaha where we've been trying to get it fixed for the last, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes or so. But we hear there's only one channel going through on the left side. So if you hear any strange audio issues throughout the game tonight, then that's something with the encoders that they have out here, but it's something they're trying to fix. Maybe it gets fixed throughout the game. Only time will tell. But let's get to the important part. Hockey here in Omaha tonight. The Buccaneers, they played one game last weekend. They played one game this weekend. And last week's, it was a heartbreaking loss to Dubuque. They had a 3-1 lead after one, but then they allowed 4 straight goals. The Bucks, they went up 3-1, and then one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest problems that led to that loss was their power play going 0 for 4, including 3 straight power play chances in the second period. The Buccaneers had multiple opportunities to extend that lead to the 3-goal lead on the power play, just unable to capitalize there, and that ended up coming back to bite the Buccaneers. They only took 2 penalties in that game, however, went 1 for 2 on the kill. The special teams definitely playing into that loss just a bit for the Bucks, even though they did get the first power play goal of the game, Kernan, in the first period, but it ended up not mattering in the long run as the Bucks fell in Dubuque last week 5-3. Now, if you look at the Lancers, they're in game 2 of 4 on a 4-game homestand, but home ice has not been an advantage for the Lancers this season. Neither has away ice. Now, the Omaha Lancers, they lost their first 4 games of the season before winning their next 4, but then after that, they went on a massive losing streak, a 30-game losing streak for the Lancers. That was broken not too long ago, March 8th against Tri-City in overtime. However, they have not won in regulation on home ice since October 13th. So they're looking to hopefully break that streak and pick up some wins, even though they're eliminated in that playoff race. They still want to get the wins, get the points, build up for next season. Now let's take a look at each of these teams' last games. Omaha was here at home against Sioux City, the game 1 of 4 on their 4-game homestand. It was a 5-3 loss. They went down 1-0, but then Caden Lee scored on the power play to tie it back up for the Lancers. But then the Musketeers, they got a goal with 46 seconds left in the first period before heading into the first intermission, down 2-1. There was no scoring in the second period, but then a 5-goal explosion in the third period. Musketeers got the first one of those 5 goals. They got a 3-1 lead just a minute and a half into the third, but then Omaha, they scored 2 straight to tie the game, and things were looking promising, but then a heartbreaking goal against for the Lancers. It was the game winner. It was a short-handed goal with 2:47 remaining in the game by the Musketeers. And then they've got an empty net goal to put it away. 5-3 win for the Musketeers. Another heartbreaking loss for the Lancers. They went 1 for 3 on the power play, 1 for 1 on the PK, and Aiden McKenna was in net, stopping 20 of 24. Speaking of heartbreaking losses, I know I just brought up the Buccaneers' most recent game, which I'll talk about really quick here. It was in Dubuque last weekend, a 5-3 loss as well. The Bucks, they allowed the first goal of the game before a 3-goal outburst in under 5 minutes. Some great display of offensive ability by the Buccaneers. Kernan on the power play, then Brizgala from Barron and Grossclass, and then Kernan from Zielinski were the 3 Bucks goals in that first period. But then things took a turn for the worse pretty quickly. They allowed 4 straight goals after that, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and that gave Dubuque the 5-3 win over the Buccaneers. They went 1 for 5 on the power play, 1 for 2 on the PK. Max Weiland was in net for that start, stopping 19 of 24. Now, the last time these teams played was back in January. It was actually back out in Des Moines. The first of 2 times this season we'll see the Lancers in Des Moines. It's a 6-1 Bucks win. The Bucks, they had 2 first-period goals in that game. Kernan from Clark and Barron on the power play. And then Harper from distance got the goal that would end up being the game winner. The Bucks then scored 3 goals in the second. Ostrovsky from Kernan and Clark on the power play. The Dyer, the captain, penalty shot. It was a beauty. He got it in. And that's all that matters. Gave the Bucks, extended their lead, rather. And then Kevin scored at the end of the period. Barron and Ostrovsky with the assists on that. And then Omaha, they get on the board themselves. It was Jonah Agater, who is now on Fargo. assisted by Sheets and Ramos. But then the Bucks had a 5-minute kill. Gus Thorpe got a major for a slash, but the Bucks strong penalty kill in that game, 5 minutes, and they really dominated that 5-minute time. They had a fantastic penalty kill that game against the Lancers, went perfect 100% on that, 100% on the power play as well. And then Zielinski scored with 2 seconds left in the game just for good measure. Moran picking up his first USHL assist on that goal. And the Bucks cruised to a 6-1 win over the Lancers back in January. Like I said, 2 for 2 on the power play, 2 for 2 on the PK. Oh, perfect 100% special teams night for them. And Max Violent was in net, stopping 27 of 28, while Daniel Moore was in net, stopping 24 of 30. Now the Bucks, their next game is at home. A odd Tuesday game this upcoming Tuesday, March 25th, for a 6:30 puck drop time. The Bucks then host the USN DTP team on Friday, March 28th, for a 7 p.m. puck drop. That'll be the U18s. They played the U17s earlier this season, picked up the win out in Plymouth. They will play the U18s on Friday. Omaha, on the other hand, are going to stay at home and end their home game stand with a 2-game set next weekend against Sioux Falls and Tri-City. And the final time we will see Omaha is April 11th in West Des Moines. Now let's look at the goalie matchup for tonight. I always do the visiting team first, and tonight the Bucks are the visiting team. Let's take a look. Elliott Sequin Liscarbo gets the start in net for the Buccaneers, and for the Lancers, Daniel Moore gets the start in net. The Omaha Lancers, their record on the season, 7-41, 5-1, good for 20 points, 8th in the West. The Buccaneers, 21-30, 4-0, good for 46 points, and 7th in the West. The Bucks are the team that's ahead of Lancers in the standings. The Lancers are the team in the West that's beneath the Bucks in the standings. Now, the Lancers, they've been eliminated from playoff contention for a while, but the Bucks, it's not impossible for them to make the playoffs, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but things are looking grim for a playoff appearance for the Buccaneers. So for them, every point matters right now, and they need help from teams that play Tri-City. So the Buccaneers playing a team like Omaha, who's been eliminated for a while, has had some struggles this season. The Bucks need an important 2 points tonight. The power players are looking like this. Omaha, 15th in the USHL, 15.2% conversion rate. The Bucks are 10th with a 21.8 conversion rate. And then PK, we have 11th in the league for Omaha, 75.5%. The Bucks are 12th with a 74.8%. Top scorers for each team, we have Davis Borodzinskis, the former Buck, leads the way for the Lancers, 10 goals, 22 assists on the season. Sam Sheets, 10 goals, 12 assists. And Brian Lonergan, 3 goals, 16 assists. And for the Bucks, Jack Kernan leads the way with 27 goals, 22 assists. His 49 points ties him 12th in the USHL. His 27 goals ties him 3rd. Ben Keevan, 12 goals, 29 assists. His 29 assists ties him 17th in the USHL. Then Andrew Clark, 19 goals, 19 assists on the season. Let's look at the starting lineups for each team tonight here in Omaha. For the Buccaneers, a starting line up front, Andrew Clark. To his left, Theo Kiss. To his right, Ben Keevan. On the back end, Richard Barron and Brant Harper. And in net, like I mentioned earlier, Elliott Sequin Liscarbo. For the home team Lancers, Brock Cheslock. In his first USHL game, gets the start. His line gets the start. He is at center. To his left is Charlie Vig. To his right, Ben Osiashvili. On the back end, Henrik Lasky and Franco Vukas. And then in net, Daniel Moore. Scratches for each team include Bucks Keaton Norrie, Peyton Blair, Dylan Moran, Harper Searles. Well, the Omaha scratches include Mario Fate, Easton Jacobs, Lucas Zamovtak, and Luke Baker. Referees for tonight's game, Kevin McManus, Christopher Peterkin. Linesmen are Aaron Mostrom, Sean Rounds. And that takes us to where we are now. Just under 5 minutes until puck drop. First time being out here in Omaha for me this season, Tony. I have to say, it's a nice barn. I'm liking it.
Well, Eliza, I think you like your. I was watching you as you walked into this building, and my secret passageway to get in here was was a little bit different for you, but this is a cool arena. I'm going to back you up to Tuesday night's game, Eliza. You forgot to mention it's a dollar hot dog night.
It is dollar hot dog night.
And I didn't want to interrupt you there, but my gosh, you cannot beat a dollar hot dog at Bucks Arena over there in Recplex in West Des Moines.
Well, I'd say any hot dog is better, the cheaper it is. So
Yeah.
go out, support the Buccaneers. It's a Dupaco Cowboy Cup matchup against the Waterloo Blackhawks, and $1 hot dogs on a Tuesday. What else do you want to do on your Tuesday? Then get some hot dogs and watch the Bucks.
They probably got cheap beers too. I don't know. I don't know if there's any beer specials, but come out and enjoy an adult beverage or soda and have a dollar hot dog. And I tell you what, I've been to a lot of these arenas. The best hot dog in this league so far, I think, is Waterloo. They have a good hot dog up there. I don't know what it is, but that's probably my favorite hot dog spot in the USHL.
We call it Party Town up there. I'm sure
Party
they got some good food. But out here in Omaha is where we await puck drop, Buccaneers and Lancers' third game of the season. Bucks, like I mentioned earlier, some of their best games of the season were against the Lancers. Max Weiland picked up his first career USHL shutout against the Lancers back here this December 28th. It was a 5-0 game. Bucks dominated, got the shutout, and then we saw the Lancers come to Des Moines, and the Bucks got a 6-1 win. So some very convincing wins, both 5-goal victories for the Buccaneers. See if they can replicate that tonight. Every point matters for them, and they need to catch up to Tri-City in the standings if they want to any hopes at making the playoff. Right now, Tri-City, they have a convincing lead over the Bucks in the standings. The Buccaneers 46 points, the Tri-City Storm 54 points, but the part that's hurting the Bucks right now is they have 55 games played.
Yep.
And Tri-City has 53.
Yeah, everybody talks about Tri-City. Tri-City needs to lose. Buccaneers need to win. That's the bottom line. If we would have won some more games here in the regular season, especially against Tri-City, gets swept by Tri-City, we would have won 2 out of those 4 games. We've been right in here with Tri-City, but it's going to be a tough hill to climb here. But like I say, we talked on the way over here, the Buccaneers have to win games, and the final 5-6 games left we got here, they just got to win. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just go out there and win.
Yes, because all you can control is your own play. You can't control what happens between Tri-City and whoever. You can only control what happens in the games you play. And you talk about the games against Tri-City. Well, right now, if you look at the standings, the Bucks trail Tri-City by 8 points. Let's say the Bucks won those 4 games. Tri-City would be trailing the Bucks by 8 points.
Yeah.
So that just shows how important every game is, every point is, because you get down to this point in the season when you're trying to get points for a playoff position, those games we lost earlier in the year really come back to hurt you. You mean, we can look at this Dubuque game last week where you had a 3-1 lead, and give all the credit to Dubuque. They're a very good hockey team. Number 1 in the East, number 2 in the league, but still, you had the 3-1 lead heading into first intermission, and then you had 3 power play opportunities in the second period, and unable to hang on. That one stings a little bit. And even if you look back further than that, the very beginning of the season,
I was just going to talk about that, Eliza.
The Buccaneers, they had a very tough stretch at home, winless in their first 7, I believe, at home, and that came back to. That's really coming back to bite them now, but
just think, Eliza, we could have won 3 out of the 7 we started the season at home. We would have been here, and everybody talks about coming down to the final stretch here, win games. People forget we get points in the middle of the season too. The start of the season, you need to win games all the time. So
every game.
Every game. Well, ran high school hockey for a lot of years. When the team was struggling. Well, Lance was struggling this year too. You got to win the battles. You can't go out here tonight and think about the win right off the bat. You got to go out every shift. You got to win that battle. Win the battle in the corner. Break it down to the first 5 minutes of the game, the next 5 minutes of the period, and you just got to start winning the battles, and then the wins will come. But the Buccaneers have done a great job here towards the end of the season. They're finding their rhythm. So hopefully tonight.
Well, and also
we can have a win tonight and some goals tonight. So
you got to be careful if you're the Bucks. I know if you just look at the standings, you just look at the stats. Omaha is towards the bottom for everything. I mean, they have 7 wins on the season, and don't let that distract you, because if you're like, oh, 7 wins, we can play down to our competition's level. Well, that's how you lose games.
Yeah.
So no matter who you play, no matter where you play, you always got to bring your A game, especially against teams like Omaha that, they've struggled. They want to win. They haven't been able to experience that a ton this season. So every chance they're going to have at getting a win, they are going to take. So the Buccaneers, they need to have a strong start like they did in Dubuque, getting those 3 goals in under a 5-minute span. But being able to hold on to leads, not taking penalties or allowing goals after scoring a goal of yourself, that's been an issue so far this season as well. So hope we can see a strong game from the Buccaneers tonight as the Omaha starting lineups are being announced.
We're going to mention this throughout the broadcast tonight. If you're somewhere listening with your headphones on, you're only going to hear sound out of the left side. They have problems with their audio cables here tonight. Have problems with the wireless mic. Nice national anthem there. Going to have a special drop the puck, and then Eliza, we're going to be underway. The Buccaneers wearing their road blue jerseys. Going to your left on the screen, the Omaha Lancers wearing their white jerseys tonight.
Special jerseys for them tonight.
Jersey for the Lancers looks like tonight. Not a lot of orange on them. Shaw out there for the Buccaneers with the puck drop. Andrew Clark for the faceoff for the Buccaneers, just about underway. Cheslock for the faceoff for the Omaha Lancers.
In his first game, he gets the start.
Yeah. All right, just seconds. Drop the puck here. Like I said, Buccaneers wearing their blue jerseys going to the left on the screen. Lancers wearing their white jerseys going to the right on the screen. Andrew Clark for the faceoff for the Buccaneers. And the Lancers win the faceoff. They draw it back to the near side, up through center ice, dump it down in the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Clark picks it up on the right-hand side off the half board. Leads it there for Barron to Keevan. Keevan flips it up through center ice, all the way down on the Lancers' defensive side of the ice. Clark over to the play it. Lancers pick it up. Here comes Lancers full head of steam, right-hand side, across the blue line, down on the Buccaneers' defensive side, sent to the far side, off the left circle, and chips it out of the zone. Played on the near side. Jokas has it for the Lancers, and he dumps it down in. icing on the Omaha Lancers. 19:25 left in the first period.
Have Big and Lucas saying the Bucks touched it. Should be an icing, but referee not the linesman not having any part of that.
Nope, not gonna have it.
You typically don't win the arguments on the
I was
ice.
just gonna say that to you. Like, you don't usually win the. I don't remember last time they want to call like that. Vernon with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Zelensky and Burchill out there too on the front side for the Buccaneers. Peppenberg and Buick on the backside. Lancers win the face-off. They draw it to the far side, send it to the near side. Buccaneer Burchill trying to catch up to it. Morgan gets to it for the Lancers, and the puck goes all the way down. The Buccaneer in the right hard collision with Kernan right in front of us here, right in front of the penalty box. Sent over to the far side. Carter picks it up for the Lancers, sends it to the near side. Played on the half boards by Zelensky. Zelensky leaves it there for Burchill. Back to the near side. Zelensky on the bottom side. Off the end boards. Right out front. High slot. Burchill, I thought he was going to fire that. He had a lane. Ended up passing it. I wish Burchill would have fired it on the top side. Lancers bring it up out of the zone. Carter has it for the Lancers. Tries to bring it in across the near side. Peppenberg intercepts that. Played by Slingerster. Sends it down into the Buccaneers. Into the rink. Peppenberg picks it up. Buccaneers changing it up a little bit here. As Odreski comes out here for the Buccaneers. To the far side. Lancers force the turnover. On the left-hand circle. Fires a shot on net. Nicholas Garbo with the save. And the Buccaneers caught deep down in their defensive side of the ice. Played by Peppenberg to the far side. Slingerster with it now off the half board. Centering pass right up front. Picked off by the Lancers. Holtz brings it in for the Lancers. Played off the half boards. Now on the inboard. Centering pass out front. Broken up by Slinger. Lancers keep it in on the blue line. Fires a shot just up over the head of Nicholas Garbo. Played to the far side. Shaw has it for the Buccaneers off the half boards, and he chips it up out of the zone. Lancers chasing after, and that's going to be icing on the Buccaneers. And they try to get off the ice. Linesman referee right over there, keeping that line out there as they were not able to change on the icing call. Riscala, Shaw, Slingerster, Peppenberg out there for the Buccaneers. M. Buick face off to the stick side. Nicholas Garbo. Shaw with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Lancers win the face-off. They draw to the near side. Jokas has it for the Lancers. Try to get a shot off. Tipped in front. Lancers pick it up to the far side. Walks the blue line. Fires a shot on net. Nicholas Garbo with the save. Peppenberg plays it off the end boards. Peppenberg in there digging it out. A bunch of white jerseys all over him. Trying to get around Buick. Peppenberg comes up with it, able to clear it up out of the zone, and that line's tired. They've been out there for a little while. As it was on the icing call, they weren't able to change. Back to play it to the near side. To the neutral zone. Lucas sends it down in deep, and Nicholas Garbo hangs on to it. Defensive face-off here for the Buccaneers.
Well, you go back to that Buccaneers chance you were talking about earlier. Buick, he had it in the high slot, decided to pass off to Burchill on the right circle, but the Bucks never got a shot off. Even though I would say that's been the best look of the early bit of the game we've seen so far, the first 3 minutes or so, but it was looked off, just a pass too many, I'd like to think there. I'd like to see the Buccaneers shoot that, test out Daniel Moore a little bit early.
Shots on net. Lancers 2, Buccaneers 0. Buccaneers win the faceoff. They draw it to the far side to Dyer. Off the half boards, back up to the neutral zone. Hard hit to the far side. Skoloff with a hard hit. Nicholas Garbo with the save. As Lancers threw it right on net after the hit. Played on the near side. Deladonna turns it over. Dyer picks it up. Chips it off the high glass and up out of the zone. All the way back down on Lancers in the rink. Jones picks it up for the Lancers. Sets up in behind the Lancers goaltender. Played on the near side. Picked off Grosloff right out front. Shot. Score! Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Deladonna puts it home on the one-timer. And the Buccaneers are up 1-0 on the first shot of the game for the
I
Buccaneers.
think that's Brizgalov that got the goal for the Bucks.
Brizgalov. Yep.
Grossclaw set him up there with the pass. It was a kind of a mess up play there by the Lancers. trying to get it up the wall. Bucks getting the bodies in the way. And then it finds Grossclass, who feeds a wide open Brizgalov. He puts it home, and ever since returning from injury, Brizgalov, he has had a couple goals, couple points, and this line for the Bucks has been looking pretty good. The Brizgalov, Deladonna, Grossclass line.
Lancers win the faceoff. They draw it on the near side. That goes up out of play. Face-off back down on the Lancers' defensive side of the ice. Offensive face-off here for the Buccaneers. Clark with the face-off. To the stick side of Moore. Buccaneers win the face-off. They draw it to the back. Harper has it for the Buccaneers. Centering pass up to Barron. Fires a shot on that, save by Moore. And no rebound. Somebody's in a headlock there for the Buccaneers. Can't see who that is. Can you, Eliza, who that is?
I don't. Everyone's standing in the way. I think it's Clark.
Clark, yeah.
That's a good shot by Barron. He had to hold it in at the line there. He was walking the tightrope a little bit there on the blue line. Held it in. Good keep. Good shot chance there. He didn't pass that one up. There's traffic in front of Moore. Test him a little bit. Just allowed a goal early in the game. I like that shot choice by Barron there.
Lancers win the face-off. They draw it to the far side off the half boards and sends it all the way down. Nope, did not get all the way down. Well, did get down on the Buccaneers in the rink, but comes off the players' bench first. And we're going to get another offensive face-off here for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, you know, if you're the Bucks, you'd rather have them ice it there because no matter what, you get the offensive face-off. But now Omaha's given the chance to change out their line, whoever's on the ice. If there's an icing, they would not have been able to do that.
Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Buccaneers win the face-off. They draw it back to Keevan. Keevan to the near side to Barron. Right out in front, shot on net. Moore with the save. Theo Kiss with the shot. And Daniel Moore comes up big for the Lancers.
Clark and Borisinskis had some words for each other after whistle. Clark took a little bit of a pop at the previous whistle.
Buccaneers win the face-off back to Keevan. Keevan sends it down in deep over to Clark. Clark sets up on the near side, off the half boards. In there to help out is Theo Kiss, sent to the far side. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone. Picked off at the center ice logo by Barron, and he sends it back in deep. Lancers pick it up in behind Moore. Lancers come right upside, the right-hand side. Lucas has it for the Lancers, and he throws it up into the Buccaneer bench. We're going to get another face-off.
I think he hit Deladonna in the head. He's okay, though. That chipped up. That was quick and hit Deladonna. He crouched down for a second. He, on and off the ice, Deladonna likes to block some shots. You know? We said it a lot this season. You see him just take a big shot to the leg or side or whatever, and he's hurting on the bench for a little bit. He's a warrior, though. He comes back in every single time.
Buccaneers pick it off the far side. Buccaneers still with only one shot on. Nope, now they got credited 3. It wasn't one up there just a second ago. Buccaneers with 3 shots on net. The Lancers 2. Buccaneers up 1-0. Played on the near side. Bailey has it for the Lancers right up through center ice to the far side. Buccaneers. Buick gets it back. Here comes Buccaneers up out of the zone. Skoloff with it, or Zielinski with it. Sorry. Sent over to the far side. The Lancers pick it up in behind their own goaltender Moore. Buccaneers change it up as Dyer comes out on the ice with Shaw, Birchill out there, and Thorpe. And the Buccaneers get Alstead out there too. That's the first shift Alstead's had in this game. Played on the near side. Lancers pick it off. Big has it for the Lancers. Shot on net. Saved by Sinkler Scarbo. Off the half boards. Here comes the Buccaneers. 2-on-2 coming back the other way. On the left-hand side. Back to the point. Dyer with it. Fires a shot on net. Moore with a save and covers up his own rebound. Alstead right in there too. Alstead takes a couple licks to the chin and moves on. Shaw talking to the referee, not going to get anything out of it. 14:07 left in the first period, media timeout.
You know, you get a save from Sequin Lascarbo on one end, and then you come back down. Good transition. You get a couple. Oh, you get a good shot there from Dyer, but just that's once again a good case of get a big save, get a scoring opportunity on one end, and you always love to see it. And you know the Bucks, they've had a lot of offensive face-offs. They've won a lot of them as well, and got some good shots off so far. So the Buccaneers if they keep the pressure going, if they keep everything going how they've been performing so far at this early mark of the game, then things are looking good. They played a solid game so far, I think.
Eliza, is your app working, the USHL app? And see who got the assist on that. I can't get my app to pull up. Just up there and spins.
Let me take a look.
At least your app came up.
For sure. I know Grosscloss for sure has an assist. He was the one on the left side of the net that gave the feed over to Brizgalov.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Deladano will get an assist
Yeah,
or not, but I know Grosscloss has one for sure.
Up there, Lancers with a face-off win, plays it on the near side, picked off by Selinsky. Signature over there too, to the far side. Here comes the Lancers up the left-hand side, right up through center ice. Down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice, played to the far side. Dyer picks it up off the half boards. Over there is Shaw. Signature with it now for the Buccaneers. All the way up to Shaw. Shaw tipped it, icing waved off. And the linesman got it right there as it was plain as day. Shaw got a piece of it. Signature with a high slot. Couldn't hang on to it. He gets it right back. Circles back around. Tried to send it over to the far side to Harper. And the Lancers tip it down into their own net. Lancers pick it up now right up through center ice to the far side. Sends it down into the Buccaneer end of the rink. Lascarbo leaves it there in behind his own cage for Barron. Barron has it now right up through center ice. Dyer to Brizgalov. Deladonna fires a shot, more with the save. And Buccaneers just about made that 2-0 hockey game as Moore comes up big for the Lancers.
This line again for the Bucks, putting some pressure on the Grosscloss, Deladonna, Brizgalov line, and Grosscloss had some words with Arneson after the whistle. He got his stick slash pretty good there, but it's this line for the Bucks. They have the goal so far tonight. They get an offensive zone faceoff, and they just had a good look there. Deladonna, most recent look for this line, and looks like he's trying to win the faceoff now.
Buccaneers bring the faceoff up through center ice, played on the near side to Barron. Back to Clark. Harper with the puck to Grossloss. Grossloss left-hand side, fires a shot on net. Moore with a save. And the Buccaneers, another offensive face-off here.
Yeah, they've had a lot of those tonight so far, and we're barely we're not even 8 minutes in.
Not even 8 minutes into the first period. Deladonna with the face-off here for the Buccaneers. Grossloss. Brizgalov out there for the Bucks on the backside. Barron and Harper. Face-off to the stick side of Moore. Fires a shot, just goes wide. Then over to the far side. Lancers pick it up off the half boards. Kept in by Harper. Lancers circle back around to the near side. Brinsky sends it all the way down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Harper in there to play it for the Bucks with Barron. Lancers pick it up on the blue line. Picked off with Brizgalov. Brizgalov with it now on the near side across the blue line. Buccaneers stay on side. Back to the high slot. Nice tip-to-do. Shot on net by Keevan. And Keevan sidestepped him. Got a nice wrister on Moore. Couldn't put it home. Lancers with it on the far side. Buccaneers change it up. Now Clark's out there for the Buccaneers. Played on the near side, attended for Jones. Fires it up over the head of Cinco Lascarbo. Lee has it in the left-hand side for the Lancers. Back out to the blue line. Sent to the near side. Jones keeps it in for the Lancers. Played on the right-hand side. Keevan picks it up on the left-hand circle. Off the half boards. Trying to get it out. Lancers keep it in. Buccaneers pick it off all the way up through center ice. Back and forth it goes. Keevan with it. Bevenberg across the blue line for Clark. Clark high slot. Dumps it back to Kroll. Sent over to the far side. Clark has it to Keevan. In behind Moore. Back to Clark. And the Lancers come up with it. Played on the near side. Bailey had it for the Lancers. On the left-hand side. Sent over to the far side. Lancers struggling to get it up out of the zone. Buccaneers struggling to get a shot on net. Back and forth it goes. Back to Jones. Jones on the right-hand side. Right through the neutral zone. Leaves it there for Bailey, and the Lancers come in offsides. 10:41 left in the first period. 1-0 hockey game.
Let's talk about that Keevan chance. What a move by him.
Yeah, what a move.
Dipsy Doodle through the defense just to cut it to the inside, got around the defense there, and if that went in, I'm sure we could have seen maybe, another look at the Sports Center top
Yeah, there
10.
you go.
He had a fantastic goal for all the Bucks fans that missed out on that at the beginning of the season.
I forgot about that,
Against
Elijah.
it goes against Waterloo. He had an absolutely phenomenal move. Just made the Sports Center top 10. He got number 5 on that, and that was a pretty cool thing to see. He has showed many times the types of things he can do. He is eligible for this upcoming NHL draft, so we're excited to see what the future holds for Ben Keevan, as he has been excellent for the Bucks this season and last.
Lancers bring it back down to the defensive side of the ice. Carter has it for the Lancers right up through center ice. Longan has it for the Lancers.
Good hit by Dyer.
Comes the Lancers across the blue line down on the Buccaneers defensive side. Shot just goes wide of Sinclair Scarborough back up out of the zone. Back to the near side. Buccaneers pick it off to Kroll. Kroll leads it there to the far side. Birchill with it. Gets taken off the puck, and the Lancers able to bring it up out of the zone. Back to the near side. Bailey with it. Fires a shot on net. Sinclair Scarborough to save right at the 10-minute mark, halfway through the first period, and another media timeout here for the Lancers. The Buccaneers outshooting the Lancers 7-4 on the scoreboard, 1-0.
Well, on that Bailey chance we just saw, the Lancers, they had a 3-on-2 going, but one of their players peeled off and went for a line change. And, if I were the Lancers, I'd be a little upset because you would have had an on-man rush back the other way, and you haven't had the most, they have 4 shots on net, but I wouldn't say many of those shots and opportunities they've had tonight have been grade A opportunities, high danger chances for the Lancers. And if you have an odd man rush, you never know what'll happen. But you'd like to see maybe stay on, even if you're a little tired, be the trailer there. See if you can get a better shot off than what Bailey was able to get off there. Still test Secret Mascaro. He made the save, which matters to the Bucks.
Defensive face-off here for the Buccaneers.
And you have to mention, Tony, for all our fans in Iowa listening, Iowa State and Drake picking up wins in March Madness tournament. Drake won last night. Iowa State men won today. And as I was pretty happy to see it on the ride out here to Omaha, I was telling Tony how my bracket was still perfect. I was riding a perfect bracket until this afternoon. Villanova lost. I'm a little upset about that, but I'll let it slide.
Elijah, you're talking to me about basketball is like me talking to you about sprint car racing. I have known nothing about basketball besides the ball bounces and goes in the hoop. So that's all I know. So, but I'm glad both Iowa State and Drake won today. Buccaneers with it down their defensive side of the ice, played by Barron. Barron on the near side, left there for Harper. Harper sets up in behind Sinclair Scarborough. Drop pass back to Barron. Barron cycles up to the near side. And for Alstead. Alstead brings it in across the blue line. Slingers are there and not able to hold the line. Here comes Fig. Fig back the other way. Shot saved by Sinclair Scarborough. And Sinclair Scarborough keeps it a 1-0 hockey game. What a great save by Sinclair Scarborough on a breakaway by Fig. Back down in the near side to the far side. Harper with it. Harper back to Barron. Barron up to the near side. Buccaneers, Slinger with it, left-hand side, fires a shot on net, saved by Moore. The Buccaneers offensive face-off. What a save by Sinclair Scarborough there, Eliza.
Yeah, I was just talking about odd man rushes and high danger chances for the Lancers, and that sure is one right there. Really had to test Sinclair Scarborough. That was Carly Veg, 2 goals, 1 assist on the season in 24 games played. Tried to go 5-hole, but Sequel Nascarbo, he shut the pillows.
Deladonna with the face-off to the stick side of Moore. Throws loss out there, too. Wins the face-off back to Peppenberg. Sends it down and deep, sent to the far side. Riskalov with it on the right-hand side. And the Lancers have it in behind their own goaltender, played by Clark, 29 out there. Grossloss out there, number 18. Back to the far side. Buccaneers off the half boards. Riskalov up to Deladonna at the center ice line, and Lancers send it right back in. Peppenberg picks it up in behind the goal line all the way up through center ice. Now Carter sets it up for the Lancers. Over to Jones. Down on the Buccaneers offensive side of the ice. Back up to the near side. Santini has it. Couldn't hang on to it. Here comes the Buccaneers. 1-0 coming back the other way. Priskalov shot on net. Saved by Moore. The Buccaneers caught the Lancers on the line change. And a nice little wrist shot. Nice little save by Moore. Buccaneers keep possession of it. Deladonna up to Thorpe. Fires a shot on net. Save. Traffic in front. Priskalov tried to tip it home. Moore comes up big for the Lancers. 7:55 left of the first period. And once again, we like to mention at the start of the broadcast, Flow Sports is having some issues. And if you're listening and you're only getting audio on one side, I don't know which side, working left or right, it is on both home and away broadcasts. And they are working on it, I guess, behind the scenes. So it's not your headphones. It's not your stereo or your TV. Clark with the face-off, played on the near side. Lancers bring it up through center ice to the left-hand side, down into the Buccaneer end of the rink. Back to play to Thorpe. Thorpe sets up to the far side, leaves it there for Clark. On the near side of Theo Kiss. Theo Kiss back to Keevan. Keevan with it, got some room. And nice stick landing by Keevan, leaves it there for Harper. Kiss fires it home. Moore with the save. Kiss has it down off the half boards, on the inboards. Lancers intercept that, bring it up to the left-hand side. All the way down on the Buccaneer end of the rink. Over to play it is Harper. Harper has it to the near side to Kiss. Kiss all the way up through center ice, picked off by the Lancers. Lucas has it for the Lancers, played on the near side. Clark trying to dig it out. Berensky has it for the Lancers, left-hand side, down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice, picked off by Keevan. Keevan brings it on the short side. Hang on to it. Lucas back up through center ice, all the way down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Sinkla Scarborough plays it on the outside of the net, keeps the play moving. Thought about covering it up. Lancers right on net, saved by Sinkla Scarborough. Odd angle shot by the Lancers, and they keep it in. Bailey sends it down in deep. Buccaneers pick it off by Barron. Barron with it now, left-hand side, all the way up through center ice. And played to the near side. Lancers broadcaster wanted a penalty. They're not going to get it. Played to the far side. You talk about penalties here, Eliza. We've had no penalties here in this period. Played to the near side. Andrew Halstead with it. Back up through center ice. Lancers with it. Hard hit by Kroll. Buccaneers have it on the near side. Halstead, left-hand side, all the way up through center ice. Sends it down in deep. Zielinski dumps it down into the Lancers defensive side of the ice. Lancers pick it up in behind their own goaltender. Played on to the near side. Gayton has it for the Lancers. Intercepted by Fig right out front. And Fig just about got that on the far side. I think it got tipped by a Buccaneer player. Sent it off into the corner. Jones brings it in for the Lancers. Played to the near side. Fires a shot outside the net, but Sinkla Scarborough is going to make a glove save.
I think Big on that look, he might have fanned her on that a little bit, or it might have come off the end of his stick a little odd. That went kind of wide. He was looking far side, like you said, but that went further than I would have thought.
Yeah, I don't know if it got tipped, like you said. It went off the stick funny or something, but it didn't go where he wanted it to.
No, but the Lancers, they've had some good looks so far this period. Had Big, I'd say, with the two best chances for the Lancers.
Buccaneers win the face-off, bring it back to Thorpe, right up through center ice. Way up in the air there. it'd be tough to hit the lights in this arena because very, very high ceiling here at the arena here for the Lancers. Slinger tips that off. Buccaneers come in. Shot on net. Saved by Moore. Right out in front. Nice rebound. Shaw could bring it home. Play to the near side. Slinger with it for the Buccaneers. Back out. Arson has it for the Lancers. Up through center ice. Sent to the far side. And the Buccaneers making a line change. But fires a shot on net. Moore with the save. Right up through center ice. Dumps it down into the Buccaneer end of the rink. Anderson plays it for the Lancers, and he comes in offsides. 4:39 of the first period, 1-0 hockey game.
Yeah, that chance we just saw by the Buccaneers, odd man rush, that happened because Chris Bettini, forward for the Lancers, he was back while the Lancers were changing out, and he took a tumble right at center ice, leaving the odd man chance there for the Buccaneers. Daniel Moore comes up with a save, and he's had a play pretty well so far for the Lancers. The Bucks have gotten some good looks. 13 shots is what the scoreboard reads right now, and he's got to come up big.
Lancers with it down on their defensive side of the ice. Played at the blue line. Harper keeps it in. Harper with a wrist shot. Never made it to the goaltender Moore. Played to the left-hand side. Deladano with a centering pass right out front.
What a pass.
What a pass from Rizkalov. And the Lancers come up with it. Who was that took the shot?
Grossfoss.
Grossfoss, yes it is. Fires a shot on net. Sinkle Scarborough on the opposite side. And it comes up big for the Buccaneers. Lucas has it. Fires a shot again. Sinkle Scarborough with the save. Back to the blue line. Steering pass broken up by Barron. Sent to the far side. Buccaneers across the blue line, down on the Buccaneers offensive side of the ice. Bucks making a line change. Theo Kiss comes out. Peppenberg. Andrew Clark, Keevan, and Buick out there for the Buccaneers. Andrew Clark comes up with it. Theo Kiss, left-hand side, centering pass. Oh, just out of reach for Keevan. Shot on net Moore. And Moore comes up big, and that shot came from Buick. Back to Peppenberg on the high point. And took a shot. Ricochets off the Lancers chin pads. The Lancers bring it all the way in. Shot on net. Save. Sinkle Scarborough. As the Lancers try to make it a 1-1 hockey game, Sinkle Scarborough comes up big for the Buccaneers. 3:01 left in the first period.
Another 5-hole breakaway stop for him. Piepenberg tried to get the shot off, forced it through some traffic, but Borozinskis, the former Buccaneer, got in the way of that. And Piepenberg, sometimes you see penalties get called for pulling down the player a little bit there. Nothing called. Borozinskis gets in clean, past Peppenberg, gets a shot off Sequin Lascarbo, turns him aside. And Sequin Lascarbo, I know we talked about Moore having to make some big saves for the Lancers. Sequin Lascarbo has already had two, 3 breakaway odd man rush stops so far tonight, all 5-hole. Keep that in mind.
We have Buccaneers winning the face-off, give it away to the Lancers. Lancers across the blue line, down on the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Laid off the half-court, back out to Jones. Jones keeps it in on the blue line. Fires a shot towards the net, just went wide. Theo Kiss off the half-court, able to chip it up out of the zone. Back up through center ice. Barnes with it for the Lancers, played by Jones. Off the half-court, here comes the Lancers up out of the zone. Stanton has it for the Lancers. Right-hand side, steering pass broken up by Dyer. To the far side, here comes the Buccaneers. Keaton with it. 2-on-1 coming back the other way with Theo Kiss on the left-hand side. Shot on net. Moore with the save. And Moore was not quite sure where that was. It was underneath him. He slides off to his left-hand side and makes a great save. 2:15 left in the first.
Yeah, 2-on-1 for the Bucks. Another odd man rush. How many are we going to see
this
game?
Yeah, there's been a lot of odd man rushes.
And the first period's not even over yet. Keevan had Kiss to his left. He elected to take the shot, and like you said, Moore, it went 5-hole. That's been the preference we've seen people try to score tonight, but Moore not sure where it was. It fumbled around a little bit. You could see the puck, but made the stop.
Lancers, Buccaneers win the face-off. Barron with it. Down in the offensive side for the Bucks. Back to Harper. Harper to Barron. Walks the blue line. Harper with it. Still looking. Tried to center and pass it. Allsted plays it to the left-hand side, off the half board. Lancers pick it up in behind their own goaltender, play to the far side. On the right-hand side, here comes the Lancers up out of the zone. Play to the near side. Harper picks it off. And the Lancers dump it right back in. Delayed offside on the Lancers. Buccaneers able to bring it up out of the zone. And that's going to be icing on the Buccaneers. 1:30 remaining in the first period. 1-0 hockey game.
I'm going to say that's the best icing to take if you're the Bucks, because the Lancers, they were making a wholesale change right there. All players were exiting the ice, and there was chaos around the bench, and you could have made an easy breakout pass there, but try to get the stretch pass. And with fresh players out on the ice, Omaha gets an offensive faceoff. Well, your players have been out there for a while if you're the Buccaneers, and have to stay out now.
Shaw with the faceoff for the Buccaneers. Wins the faceoff. Draws it to the near side to Harper. Harper off the right-hand boards. Rangers come up with it. Fires a shot at Sinkla Scarbo with the save. There's a hard hit on the near side here, too.
That was Shaw. He absolutely laid out Arneson. He hit him really good. That was a very good hit by Shaw.
Yeah, heard the thump. And I was wondering if there's another player down there, and Arneson gets up very slowly. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone on the left-hand side. Fires a shot on that. Sinkla Scarbo with a save, sent wide on the rebound. Played to the near side. 49 seconds remaining in the first period. Right out in front. High slot. The Buccaneers come up with it. Ogreski sends it all the way down on the Buccaneers' offensive side of the ice. Moore wraps it around the far boards. Tried to keep it in. Deladonna couldn't keep it in. Had to reach for it. Here comes Deladonna, full head of steam, left-hand side. He brings it down in deep. Played off the inboards. Deladonna took a hard hit, sent to the far side. Arneson has it for the Lancers. Arneson all the way up through the Lancers logo, picked off by Deladonna. One more time here for the Deladonna. If he has time, 12 seconds remain. Shot on net, Moore with a save. 10.2 seconds remain in the first period. And the Buccaneers going to get offensive face-off here. And they have 10 seconds to make it a 2-0 hockey game.
Yeah, after that Shaw hit on Arneson, like you mentioned, a little slow to get up after getting kind of slammed into the boards there, but he got a good look on Sequin Lascarba. No worse for wear, should I say. And Sequin Lascarba has to shake that one off. Good save by him. Back down the other way, this Bucks line of Grosskloss, Deladonna, Brizgalov has looked outstanding so far this period, and they get some offensive zone time to end the period.
6 seconds remaining in the period. Lancers, Carter has it off the inboards. He's just going to hang on to it, tie it up, and we're going to get a horn. After one period of play, it's the Buccaneers 1, the Lancers 0. Buccaneers out shooting the Lancers 16-7, and I think Eliza's going to try to pull up the scoreboard here.
Yeah, good first period by the Buccaneers. You mentioned 16 shots on net for the Bucks. Sometimes you see that the amount of shots they have halfway through the third period. But we've had games where that's been the case. But very good first period offensively for the Bucks. Only one goal, but a lot of odd man chances. Some really good looks by them. But Brizgalov with the lone goal of the first period. Grosskloss with the assist. Well, once the USHL stuff gets up and running again, because we never did hear an in-house announcement of the goal. So maybe they're still looking at maybe something's up with the USHL website. But if there is a secondary assist, we will let you know when we get the chance. But for now, all we know is Brizgalov from Grosskloss, and that's the lone goal. And it's been kind of all goalies so far this period. Some great saves on each end.
Well, Liza, there was one thing we were wrong about the start of this game. On the way over here, we said Kid Rock was going to sing the national anthem. He did not do it, so disappointed. And we're joking about that. We found out Kid Rock is in concert over here in Omaha at the other arena somewhere here in town. And the group that we brought over here with some of the Buccaneer staff, I'm trying to talk them into going to Kid Rock concert after the game here, but not taking any takers. And I'm probably one of the guys not taking the takers because I don't know if I could stay awake that late. But
I agree with you.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back in about 16 minutes for second period action. Thanks for listening to Des Moines Buccaneer Hockey.
just about 4 minutes until the second period of play starts here in Omaha between the Lancers and the Buccaneers. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody that is tuning into tonight's game. Once again, my name is Elijah Gallagher. I have Tony Scott alongside me. Good period for the Bucks, 1-0. Brizgalov with the lone Buccaneers goal from Gross Kloss. That's what the official keep is right now. There's just one assist, and that will go to Gross Kloss. But right now, we're not the only game going on in the league. Let's take a look at the league scoreboard. We have Chicago in Plymouth to take on the USA Hockey National Development Team. Chicago is up 4-3 halfway through the third. The Gamblers up 3-2 on Muskegon in Muskegon. Third period is about to start there. Tri-City is hosting the Phantoms, and for all the Buccaneers fans out there, you're rooting against Tri-City, but right now they are up 1-0 on Youngstown. Second period is about to start there. Waterloo and Dubuque are tied at 1 in Dubuque. Second period is about to start there as well. Sioux Falls up 1-0 in Lincoln. That is a heavyweight matchup between some of the best teams in the West. And then we have Cedar Rapids and Madison playing in Madison. That one is 0-0 after 1. And of course, here in Omaha, Bucks on top 1-0 after 1. About 2.5 minutes until puck drop. And we were talking about this earlier. Tuesday game, show up for the Buccaneers, show out. Tuesday night, $1 hot dogs. You can't miss out on that. Hot dogs, $1. That sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Sounds like a great deal.
Tickets.buckshockey.com. Get them today. Come out, support the players. And then next Friday, we have a game between the Buccaneers and the U18s at the Recplex in West Des Moines. So 2 home games this upcoming week for the Buccaneers, although they do happen in some weird time slots, a Tuesday and then a Friday. Friday's pretty regular, but a Tuesday it's something a little different, so make sure you get the word out there. Tuesday night, something I would rather do than watch some hockey on a Tuesday. Excited for that one against the Blackhawks. And then the Buccaneers will head out to Lincoln this weekend after they play the U18s at home, and that's always a tough matchup, especially this year against the Stars. Currently looking for the Anderson Cup. They have already clinched a playoff spot. Lincoln was the first team to clinch a playoff spot. Right now, they are first when you look at the league standings. They have 82 points. The next closest team to them is Dubuque with 77. So Lincoln well on their way to capturing an Anderson Cup, which is awarded to the team with the most points at the end of the regular season, kind of like the President's Trophy in the NHL. But of course, the cup they're all chasing is the Clark Cup. And here in Omaha, back in the 90s, just like the Buccaneers were kind of a powerhouse in the USHL. We have the banners up in front of us here, and you just take a look at them. 1989, 1990, 1993, 1994, 1997 to 1998. 3 championship banners up here with 4 regular season league champion trophies, and the Lancers were forced to be reckoned with back in the 90s, before my time.
Yes, before your time, Elijah. I was telling you some stories on the way over here playing at the Exarban Arena, and some of the memories over here. I know the Buccaneers. I remember national tournament up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The Buccaneers won a championship tournament up there. Scored 1.5 seconds left on the clock on a face-off from the Buccaneers and beat the Omaha Lancers. So.
And as I'm told, the great rivalry that there used to be between these two teams. I know it's fizzled off a little bit through the years, and that happens. If you're the 1 and 2 team in the league, you're gonna have a bit of a rivalry, especially if it consists through a better part of a decade. So I would like to see an Omaha Des Moines rivalry myself, but I know Omaha's main rival is Lincoln primarily. They share a state, they're close to each other, but it's always fun to see.
Buccaneers wearing their blue jerseys, going to your right on the screen. The Lancers wearing their white, going to your left. Shot on net from outside the blue line, Moore with the save. And the Buccaneers play it at center ice. The women play it as Keevan brings it right back in on the left-hand side. Centering pass to Clark, just off the mark for Clark. Back on the blue line, Harper. Harper keeps it in, fires it towards the net. Lancers pick it off. Here comes Lancers back the other way. Morgan with it for the Lancers, sent to the far side, all the way down to the Buccaneer and the rink. Harper picks it up in behind his own cage. Nicholas Scarborough in cage for the Buccaneers. Back pass by the Lancer. I'm not sure where he was going with that. Right through the Buccaneer stick. I had to look down, double check over the Lancer doing that pass. He passed it right back to, I think it was Peppenberg there. Here comes Barron. Barron with it now. Right up through the left-hand side. To the far side. Barron with it. Leaves it there for Keevan. Keevan off the half boards. Back to Barron. To Buick. Buick on the top side. Right-hand circle. Sends it down in deep. Played by Keevan. Keevan to Theo Kiss. And Lancers intercept Kiss's pass all the way up through center ice. Dumps it down in deep. Peppenberg back on the right-hand side. Plays it off the half boards. Into play it is Kernan. Lancers bring it up to the near side. Picked off by Lee. And Lancers come back in. Could not get a shot off. Peppenberg in there giving them the business. And the puck comes free all the way back up through center ice. And that's going to be icing waved off. Lancers have to play it down on their defensive side of the ice.
Good speed by Burchill to make Moore come out and play the puck to cancel the icing.
Here comes Schultz with it. Fires a shot on net. Saved by Cinco Escarbo.
That hit the pipe.
Yeah, that hit the pipe. I don't know how that didn't go in. I think it hit the inside pipe. Back to the other way. Zielinski with it. Drop pass back to Kernan. Shot on net. Moore with a save. And 17:59 of the first period. We'll see if they do a replay up there on the video board here.
So what action so far to start off this period?
Yeah.
We're just about 2 minutes into this period, and we saw Lee with the fantastic look, not able to get a shot up, but then more recently we just saw Sheets hit the post, out Sequin Lascarbo, standing in his net. So he's going to thank the goalpost as goalies do sometimes when it hits the iron, but Bucks have had some good chances of their own. Interrupted you.
Oh, you're all right, Elijah. Back on the near side. Shaw with it. Fires a shot on net. Moore with the save. Slingerter with the shot. He was wide open. Nobody around him. Little wrist shot by Slingerter. And nice save by Moore. Shaw with it off the inboards. Played on the near side to Thorpe. Thorpe to Dyer. Dyer fires it. And that goes off Satton's shin pads. Played to the near side off the half boards. Odreski with it. Odreski fires it to the top side to Thorpe. To Dyer. Fires a shot on net. Saved by Moore. Glove save. Looked like a catcher down there. And Moore with a save. A nice pressure by the Buccaneers. 18 shots on net for the Buccaneers. 7 for the Lancers. I don't think the Lancers have got a shot in this period. I think 7 after one period of play. 17:23 left in the second period.
Bucks have looked good in the offensive zone so far tonight, getting shots to the net. You know, I talked about the very beginning of the game. We had Buick pass up a good chance to get to Burchill, and no shots were able to get off. But since then, the Bucks have kind of fired into the net.
Buccaneers win the faceoff, fires it towards the net. I don't think it made it on net. Got blocked in front. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone on the left-hand side. Fires a shot, just goes in behind the net of Cinco Escarbo. Kept in at the blue line. Barron picks it up for the Buccaneers all the way up through center ice. To the near side, Deladonna with it, right-hand side, across the blue line. He sends it down in deep, sent to the far side. Gross lost in there, play it on the left-hand side. Back to Deladonna. Centering pass out front, got broken up. As Grossloff tried to get it up to the high slot. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone, across the blue line, down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Lancers with it right out in front. Could not get a shot off. Here comes Grossloff with it for the Buccaneers. Played to Deladonna. Deladonna to the right-hand side, to the far side. And the Lancers chip it all the way back down to the Buccaneer in the rink. Icing waved off. Roll with it off the inboard. Sent to the far side. Off the half boards to Deladonna. Right out in front. Fires a shot. Never made it. Shot on net. Cinco Escarbo with the save. And now we got some pushing and shoving after the whistle. And that's Kroll. And that's one kid I don't think I'd want to drop the gloves with. As we've seen a couple of times this year, Kroll is a tough kid. And everybody's going to walk away. Morgan for the Lancers is one talking to control. I was going to say a different word there, but I thought I'd better not. Face off. The Buccaneers defensive side. Yadreski with the face off shot towards the net. Lancers won that face off, shot it right towards the net. Artisan with a shot from the Lancers. And here comes the Buccaneers up out of the zone. Slinger with it for the Buccaneers. Played to the near side to Shaw. High slot. Couldn't get the shot off. Lancers come back 3-on-2, coming back the other way. Left there for Morgan. Artisan has it for the Lancers. Played to the left-hand side. Back out to the blue line. Kept in. Dumps it right back in. Thorpe plays it in behind his own goaltender. That was Jones that dumped it in for the Lancers. Icing waved off again. I'm liking this, Eliza. They're waving off these icing. We're going to keep this clock rolling on a Friday night. We're going to get to that Kid Rock concert yet before the night's over. Jones has it on the left-hand side. Played to the near side. Buccaneers keep it in. Keep it with it. Fires a shot off the goaltender's glove, and I think it went off the crossbar.
Took an odd deflection.
Yeah, it did take a odd deflection. Lancers with it. Barnes with it in behind his own goaltender. Lee plays it to the far side, and the Buccaneers still it off the half board. Harper with it. Fires a shot. Never made it to the net. Artisan comes up with it for the Lancers. Played to the far side. And Artisan fires it towards net. And Frank wants a penalty on the Lancers again. Not going to get it. We just got to stay here and laugh. Buccaneers with it to the far side. Clark has it now off the half boards. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone on the right-hand side, right up through the Lancers logo. Played by Harper. Sent to the far side. Off the half boards, down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Clark gets taken down. Wilkins has it. High slot. Right out front, shot, goal. And the Lancers tie it up and make it a 1-1 hockey game. 14:09 left in the second period, and they are throwing objects onto the ice.
That's going to be Caden Lee with the goal. Borozinskis with the fantastic setup. Was able to walk through the slot, get around the check of Kiss, found a wide open Lee, and he fired it home. And just like that, it's a tie game here. Even though the Bucks have really had some of the better looks so far this period, are sleeping a little bit in their defensive zone.
Buick sends it down in deep. Off the end boards. Here comes the Lancers up through center ice. Back to play to Buick. Buick with it for the Buccaneers. Loose puck. Zelensky comes up with it. And the Buccaneers trying to answer Moore with the save. Zelensky with a nice wrist shot. Came off the pad of Moore. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone. Picked off by Burchill. Burchill long pass up to Linsky and offsides on the Buccaneers. 13:36 of the second period, 1-1 hockey game. Buccaneers outshoot the Lancers 19-9.
Good shift there by the Bucks after they allow the goal. Zelensky, who was trying to get Daniel Moore to open up the pad, slide it 5-hole, but got denied by Moore. And then right there, Zelensky was looking for a breakaway, but it was deemed offside. That was close. If he was able to get it alone, you never know. We could have seen he could have gotten this a goal, get the Buccaneers back up by 1. But right now we sit shots 19-9 and tie game 1-1.
Media timeout here for the Lancers.
A good time to have a media timeout if you're the Bucks. You allow the goal, now you have a chance to talk things down, and it'll let the crowd calm down just a little bit. No play going on in the ice.
We were talking on the way over here. We saw the cartilage on the interstate on the way over here, Eliza. We missed the blizzard that everybody else had over here in western Iowa and in Omaha. This started last week. But, man, we saw a lot of campers and cars and semis still in the ditch and upside down. And thank God there's no snow over here. But they had a heck of a first week here with the snow.
Those winds were no joke.
Yeah, the winds were no joke. You could see that on the way over here. Kernan with the face-off of the Buccaneers. Lancers win the face-off. They draw it to the near side. Big brings it back down. Kernan putting the pressure on him. Kernan's going to win that battle. No, not quite. Almost won that battle there. Now he does. Kernan with it now. Top of the high slot. Right out in front. Here comes the Lancers up through center ice. Big with it again for the Lancers. Picked off by Dyer. Puck comes free. Played to the near side by Burchill. Burchill comes up with it. Wins the battle right out in front. Shot just went wide of Moore. Kernan with it now for the Bucks to Dyer. Back to Kernan. Sent over to the far side. Jones picks it up on the left-hand side. Back to the near side to Fig. That Fig is out there quite a bit for the Lancers. Deslock brings it in. Down in the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Played to the far side. Dyer has it for the Bucks. Sets up in behind Sinkla Scarbo. Back up through center ice. Played to the far side. Lancers with it now. Morgan tips it to Hinn. Back to play it is Dyer. Dyer beats him to the puck. Played by Kroll. Kroll sets up in behind his own goaltender to the near side to Shaw. And Morgan comes up with it. Has the takeaway. Played to the near side. Lancers have it on the left-hand side. Carter sends it down in deep. Sending pass right out front. Shot on net. Sinkla Scarbo with the save. Lancers play it to the far side. Kroll has it for the Buccaneers. Lancers come up with it. Carter fires a shot. Morgan shot. Saved by Sinkla Scarbo. Sinkla Scarbo stacked the pads there to make the save. And the puck goes up into the penalty box here. And the Lancers almost made this a 2-1 hockey game. And Sinkla Scarbo doing everything he can to keep this a 1-1 hockey game.
Yeah, the Bucks kind of swimming in their own zone, not able to get the puck out. Some turnovers, just sloppy play in the defensive zone. Kind of opposite to what we've seen in the offensive zone. When they're down playing offense tonight, it's been slick plays, good passing, get shots through, but in their defensive zone just struggles breaking it out so far this period, and turnovers and letting the Lancers cycle around in their own zone. They get a face-off one here.
Shaw with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Lee with the face-off for the Lancers. And Sinkla Scarbo comes up with the save off the face-off. Played on the near side to Dyer. To Kroll. Battle in behind the net. Alstead comes up with it for the Buccaneers. Played to the far side. Up through center ice. Slinger with it for the Buccaneers. Buccaneers come in offside just barely. And 11:30 left in the second period.
Lancers have 5 shots so far this period. The Bucks have 3. You know, the first period, the Bucks had 16 shots in comparison to Omaha's 7. So definitely slowed down a little bit for the Bucks this period. You'd like to see them in the offensive zone a little bit more.
Liza, I'm glad you got the webpage to come up. Mine still won't come up on my phone.
Took a little bit.
Yeah. Played to the near side. Buccaneers leaves it there for Deladonna. Backhanded pass. Intercepted. Here comes the Lancers back to bottom of the zone with it. Down on the Buccaneers defensive side. Shot on net. Sinkla Scarbo with the save. Barron takes a shot to the head. And Deladonna took a shot to the back of the head. And I think the whistles have just been put away here. Reskaloff with it. Right-hand side. Nothing too serious. Barron with it down below the red line. Pass right out. Fresh score! Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah. Deladonna from a feed from behind the net. And the Buccaneers make it a 2-1 hockey game.
Great work by Barron. Great work by Barron. Yeah. He had the puck the whole way. He went from the left circle back around the horn behind the net to the right circle, found a wide open Deladonna, just kind of snuck through the coverage of the D and fired one home. And once again, it is this line of the Buccaneers, Brizgalov, Grosskloss, Deladonna, getting the job done. They have both goals so far tonight. So great play by Barron to find Deladonna. The Bucks have a lead again.
Buccaneers with a face-off win. Back to Peppenberg. Peppenberg on the left-hand side. He sends it down in deep. At center ice line. Played to the near side. Keevan with it. Fig for the Lancers. Godreski in there too. The Buccaneers play it off the half board. And we're going to get our first penalty of the game. We're going to get a hooking call, and I do believe it's going to be on the Lancers. might be against Des Moines. I don't think any, but no, it's going to be against the Lancers. Hooking call on the Lancers. The Buccaneers be on the Little Debbie Snack Cake power play.
Brock Cheslock in his first game gets the first penalty of the game for a hook. That's what it was announced. And from some things we've seen tonight, I feel like that was a lesser of an infraction as we get a replay up on the big boards here. And I can see he gives a little bit of a slash to Keevan, gets a stick in there. Just maybe a little too much stick work on Keevan by Cheslock. And the Bucs have the first power play chance of the night for our team.
Clark, Keevan, Yardreski out there for the Buccaneers, Barron, and Kernan. Buccaneers won that faceoff, sent it across the blue line, leaves it there for Clark, left-hand circle. Back to Barron, top of the right-hand circle, high slot. Leaves it there for Clark to Keevan, to the far side. Barron, top of the circle, right-hand side to Keevan, played by Clark. Clark circles back around, high slot. Clark's looking, fires a shot, just went wide of Moore. Back to playing is Barron. Barron at the blue line and couldn't hang on to it. Puck comes free. Barron's got to chase back to it. Full head of steam. Left there by Kernan. Kernan leaves it there to Clark. High slot to Keevan. Keevan to Barron. To the far side to Kernan. Off the half boards. Right out in front to Keevan. Fires a shot. And blocked in front. And the Lancers able to clear it out. Back out through center ice. Barron has it for the Buccaneers. To the near side to Kernan. Kernan across the blue line. Leaves it there for Clark. To Keevan. Down low. Yardreski. Yardreski off the inboards. Played by Keevan. Sent over to the far side. Kernan's going to pick it up. Send it back up to the top side. Blue line. Walks it across. Clark with it to Keevan. Down in deep. Right out in front. Yardreski fires a shot on that. Moore with a save. And the Lancers send it the link at the ice. And 20 seconds left on the penalty for the Buccaneers. They got the digital scoreboard up there. It's kind of sometimes tough to see where the penalty is on this clock. I remember that being over here last time. Back up through center ice comes Thorpe with it. Thorpe back to Dyer. To the far side to Thorpe. Buccaneers bring it in. Shot over the head of Moore into the protected netting. We're going to get a whistle. 8:16 left in the second period. Buccaneers up 2-1.
You know, even though they weren't able to score on that power play, the Buccaneers, that looked good. I mean, I'd like someone to make a tally count of how many passes they were able to complete in the offensive zone. They were able to cycle that around with ease, I'd say. Just a lot of passing, but every time they get a shot, there was a body in the way, or Moore would have to come up with the save. So even though it looked good, you would like a goal there, even to put you up 2 goals. But good power play by the Bucs. They're able to enter the zone relatively easily each time. Couple clearances by the Lancers, and Cheslock is out of the box, or maybe even strength. And the Buccaneers should have an offensive zone face-off, which is where they have been pretty good so far tonight. Like I mentioned earlier, good in the offensive zone. It's a beach ball in the ice.
We got a beach ball. You don't see that very often at a hockey game, a beach ball out on the ice. On the big scoreboard says they're having a beach ball party tonight. I don't see anybody in beach attire. That'd be kind of cold on you. You're out here in your beach attire. Deladonna with the face-off for the Buccaneers. To the glove side of Moore. Back out to center ice to Dyer. Dyer plays it to Grosloss. Arneson brings it across the blue line down on the Buccaneers. Defensive side of the ice. Picked off. Reese Goloff with it for the Buccaneers. Sets up in behind his own goaltender. Nicholas Scarborough played to the near side to Dyer. Grosloss up to Deladonna. Full head of steam. Deladonna with a shot on net save. Nice little wrist shot by Deladonna. Sent back to the far side. Lancers bring it up. Right hand side off the half boards. Down in the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Played to the far side. Reese Goloff in there with Dyer to Thorpe. Thorpe off the half boards. Chips it up out of the zone. Back out to the neutral zone. Lancers pick it up. They cycle back around. Up through center ice. Arneson with it. To the far side. Off the half boards. Fires a shot. Just went wide of Nicholas Garbo through the blue paint. Dyer sets up in behind his own goaltender. Play to the far side. Off the half boards. And the Buccaneers able to get it up out of the zone to Deladonna. Gross loss across the blue line. On the left-hand side, Alstead has it for the Buccaneers. Off the inboards. Alstead stays with it. Trying to go right back at it as he got it taken away. Zelensky back out to the near side. Oh, man, up over the head of Alstead. Just avoided a hard hit there. And Alstead plays it to the near side. Chips it off the linesman. Back up through center ice it comes. All the way down to the Buccaneers. Defensive side of the ice. Harper plays it to the near side. Slingershire back to Harper. Harper sets up in behind St. Louis Scarborough. Off the inboards. Lancer saving pass right out front. Shot saved by St. Louis Scarborough. Shot save again. And St. Louis Scarborough keeps it a 2-1 hockey game. On a point-blank shot from the top of the blue paint. And St. Louis Scarborough shaking his head a little bit.
That was a terrible defensive breakdown there by the Bucks. Just a turnover behind the net. Right to a Lancer player and pass right out in front. Stephen Lascarbo had to come up big with the stop. Because if Stephen Lascarbo there, you're like, yeah, my teammate has the puck behind my net. The next thing you know, Omaha is passing the puck right out in front of you. You have to come up with a big save, and he does just that.
Clark with the faceoff wins it back to Harper. To Barron. Back up to Clark. Clark on the left-hand side. Right up through the neutral zone. Lancer forced a turnover. Lee tried to bring it back the other way. Buccaneer Aldreski gets a stick on it. Back up through center ice it comes. Played to the far side. Turnover by the Lancers. Aldreski with it. Right-hand side. Top the high slot to Harper. Clark fires it up over the head of Moore. Played to the near side. Aldreski with it for the Buccaneers. Off in the right-hand corner. Clark down there and behind the goaltender. Back out to the point to Barron. Barron walks the blue line. Fires it towards the net. Harper comes up with it. Searing pass to the far side. Clark plays it off the half boards. Right out in front, shot towards the net. Not sure if Moore got a piece of that or not. I think they are going to credit him with a save. Back to Barron at the blue line. Lewinsky with it. Fires a shot on net. Moore with the save, and Moore's lost his stick. It's way out of the reach of the goaltender. The Buccaneers need capitalize on this, tied up on the inboards, and the Lancers gonna go get the goalie stick, and he picks it up, hands the goalie his stick, played on the near side. Zelensky down in deep, played to the far side. Barron's gonna try to beat him to the puck. Back out through center ice it comes, all the way down to the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Lancers making a line change. Clark brings it across the blue line. Back to the near side. To Dyer. Dyer tries to walk it in. Couldn't do it. And here comes the Lancers up out of the zone. On the right-hand side, sends it on net. St. Louis Scarborough with a save. Brings it right back up. Priskaloff with it across the blue line. Sends it down in deep. Lancers pick it up in behind their own goaltender. Gross loss in there, too. Played off the half boards. Deladonna with it to the near side to Dyer. Fires a shot on net. Saved by Moore. And we get a whistle. 4:18 left in the second period. 2-1 hockey game. Buccaneers out shooting the Lancers 24-14. Buccaneers finding a little bit of life there on the offensive side.
You can't be too upset with how the Bucks have played after letting that goal. I mean, they ended up getting a goal of their own. They had a power play chance. They've been in the offensive zone for the majority of plays. Stephen Scarborough's had a couple of great saves as well, but it's been a well-played second period by the Bucks besides that initial goal.
And off the face-off, Moore had a tough time with that. Came off the top of his glove, almost put it in. Barnes plays it for the Lancers in behind Moore. On the near side to Fig. Back out to Deladonna, though. Deladonna picked it off, tried to get it to Dyer. Loose puck to the far side. Hard hit by Kroll. Jones plays it for the Lancers to Fig. Buick on the near side. Lancers come up with it in behind their own goaltender. 3:38 remaining in the second period. 2-1 hockey game. Off the end boards to the far side of the half boards. Left-hand circle. Bettenberg in there trying to dig it out. Lancers come up with it. Eliza, it's tough to see the Lancers out there in these jerseys. Not very much orange on. Lancers are known for the orange and black, and shot on net more with a save. And every time I look down at their jerseys, I think we're playing another team besides the Lancers because it's all white. I like the jerseys, good-looking jerseys. Played on the near side. Buccaneers send it down in deep. I'm not sure if that's a little bit of green on their jerseys for maybe a St. Panty's jersey. Away, back out to Barron. Barron with it, left-hand side to Kernan. Kernan right on the right-hand side avoids a hit. Kernan flies down into the offensive zone. Centering pass up to Keevan, intercepted. Kiss keeps it alive. Played by Kernan to the far side, off the half boards. Played to the far side to Theo Kiss, back to Kernan. Off the high glass, back up through center ice. Barron brings it all the way back down to the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Center pass right out front. Lancers pick it up, shot fired. It never made it. And Burchill plays it to the far side. I think Burchill blocked that from his shin pads. Gets it back out to the neutral zone. Lancers bring it forward. Peyton has it for the Lancers. Played to the near side. And the Buccaneers able to clear it out. Intended for Zelensky. Played to the near side. Burchill just out of reach. Lancers bring it back the other way, left-hand side. Tied up on the near wall. Half boards. Sent to the far side to Dyer. Dyer has it to Barron. Tried to chip it up out of the zone. Barron's not able to. Dyer has to play it. That's hash mark. Played to the near side, right up through center ice. Shaw dumps it in. All the way down and the Lancers into the rink. Picked up off the half board. Shaw keeps it alive on the right-hand corner. Right out in front. Fires a shot up over the head of Moore. And the Buccaneers with some offensive pressure here. Fires a shot towards the net again. Thorpe with a nice little wrist shot. Off the end board. Played to the near side. Shaw has it for the Buccaneers. Right up through center ice. Dumps it right back in. 1 minute remaining in the second period. The Buccaneers up 2-1. Lancers have it to the far side. Turnover. Clark forced to turnover. Nice back check for Clark. Played to the near side. Oh, boy, that was coming right towards us, Eliza. Hit the top of the glass, and I'm glad because...
that was actually going straight for us.
Yeah, that was coming straight for us.
That's happened a couple times
Yeah,
to you.
I was ducking behind you, just so you know. I was going to make you take one for the team.
Battle scars.
Thank God it was flipping, though. It wasn't a saucer coming up here. Those don't hurt quite as bad. Clark with a face-off here outside the Buccaneers offensive zone. Keevan and Theo Kiss. Steppenberg and Kroll out there for the Buccaneers. And the Lancers win the face-off. They draw it to the far side. Back down to the Buccaneer into the rink. Lee has it for the Lancers. Fires a shot. Just goes wide to sink Lascarbo. 30 seconds remaining in the period. Back to plate is Lee. Lee has it off the half boards. Fires a shot on net. Sinking Scarbo with traffic in front of him. Makes the save. Keeps it a 2-1 hockey game. Ooh, that was close to being offsides. He got it right. It was offsides. I saw white paint between the blue line and the puck, and that was offside.
The Lancers fans disagree with this one. Here's some boos and some cheers from the fans here. That was a close one. I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication as well between Clark and Keevan, whether they thought it was offside or Clark thought Keevan would go for it and vice versa. But Bucks could have caught a break there.
Kernan with the faceoff wins it to Deladonna. Played to Dyer. Dyer hit hard on the end board. Played to the near side. Lancers keep it alive. Sent over to the far side. And Dyer's out there without his glove. Not like ever to see anybody out there without a glove on. That's very dangerous. I've seen some hands get cut out there. And that's the end of the second period. The Buccaneers 2, the Lancers 1. The Buccaneers out shooting the Lancers 25-15. And a couple of goals in that
Yep, a couple goals.
in that first or second period, and
Yeah,
one
a couple
penalty,
goals
I
that
think.
period.
So,
And
yeah.
a penalty. The one penalty went to the Lancers. Brock Cheslock with the lone penalty so far, a hook. But the goals in the second period, Caden Lee from Borzinskis and Branko Vukic. And then the Bucks, Deladonna from Barron is what the go-ahead goal is right now. Brizgalov from Grossclass in the first period was a lone goal there. But right now, Sequel Mascarbo has stopped 14 of 15. Daniel Moore stopped 23 of 25. In that second period, I know that when I brought it up earlier on, it was 5-3 shots in favor of Omaha, but at the end of the period, it's 9-8 in favor of Des Moines. So the Bucks definitely with a better second half to that period compared to the first half of that period.
All right, Eliza Gallagher and Tony Scott's going to sign off here for 15, 20 minutes, probably 15 minutes, and be back with third period action. Thanks for listening to Des Moines Buccaneer Hockey on YouTube and watching on Flow Sports.
About 4 minutes until the final period of regulation starts here in Omaha. The Buccaneers up 2-1 after 2 on top of the Lancers. Once again, my name is Elijah Gallagher. I'd like to thank everyone that is tuning into tonight's game between the Bucs and the Lancers. Like I mentioned, 2-1 after 2. Each team got one goal in that second period. Lee for the Lancers, Deladonna for the Bucs, and for the Bucs, that fourth line tonight has been outstanding. I know I probably sound like a broken record. I keep bringing it up, but they have looked awesome. They have both the goals for the Bucs. They had a lot of the best opportunities of the first and second periods. But I think so far you could say with confidence every forward line for the Bucs have been producing some good chances, and even the defense, as you saw Barron with a fantastic setup on the Deladonna goal. Buick has had some good looks. Dyer's taken some shots, and I said all the Bucs players that have the offense mind tonight, and which is what you would like to see when you need points. You need to catch up to Tri-City in the standings, and right now in that Tri-City Storm game, for everyone wondering, they are down 2-1 at the end of 2 to the Phantoms right now. And while we're at it, let's take a look at the rest of the scores around the league. USA Hockey beat Chicago Steel in overtime 5-4. Muskegon comeback victory against Green Bay 6-3. Like I just mentioned, Youngstown is up 2-1 after 2. Waterloo on top of Dubuque 4-2 after 2. Sioux Falls on top of Lincoln 2-1 after 2. And then Madison up 2-0 on Cedar Rapids. Third period is just about to start there. Then, of course, take us to where we are now. 2-1 Buccaneers after 2. Bucks 0-for-1 on the power play, but what has been, I think, one of the better Bucks offensive performances so far that I have seen in person. 25 shots after 2 periods. The first period, they were firing off like crazy. 16 shots. I did bring up, there's been games before where you see the Buccaneers have 16 shots almost the entirety of the game. So just great performance offensively so far for the Bucs. You would like to have some more goals, but Daniel Moore has been outstanding for the Lancers. A lot of big saves, but Sequin Escarbo himself has come up with a handful of big saves as well. We've seen quite a bit of odd man rushes both ways for the Lancers and the Buccaneers, and the goaltenders have had to make some key stops. We've had a couple posts for the Lancers, and that's why this game is so close. The goaltenders, and big third period coming up here for the Bucs, looking to pick up some important points in the playoff race. Right now, the Bucs' magic number for a playoff spot is 14, while Tri-Cities is 7. So the Bucs, they need to win these games while needing some help from the Tri-City Storm's opponents to make a spot. And I know Tony and we talked about this for a little bit at the top of the broadcast. Just some games like last week against Dubuque where you would have loved to see the Buccaneers hold on, pick up a win, especially after being up 2 after 1, getting some power play looks in the second. They've had some tough losing stretches as well. When we talked about the home open part of the season, we also had pretty recently around the February mark, they went on that 6-game road trip and came up winless in that. So just some of the tough stretches the Bucs have had this season are coming back to hurt them a little bit at the end of the season. But all they can focus on now is what is happening in the present. So the Buccaneers need to close out this game. 20 minutes of action left in regulation, and we'll see what these 20 minutes will bring us.
All right, the Buccaneers wearing their blue jerseys going to your left on the screen. The Lancers wearing their white and green. Hard to say that, but there is more green on there than orange tonight. And like I said earlier, I'm not used to seeing the Lancers in nothing besides orange and black.
They do have some nice orange and black jerseys out to say.
Yeah, they do. Lancers always have some cool jerseys. Lancers with it on the far side. Buccaneers keep it in the offensive side of the ice. Shot on Nat Moore with the save. Dyers took the shot, and the Buccaneers with it on the near side. Backed up to Theo Thorpe. Comes Lee. Lee has it for the Lancers. Back in the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Sent over to the far side. Thorpe plays it for the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers bring it back the other direction down in the Buccaneers offensive side of the ice. Leaves it there for Clark. Clark to Peppenberg. Fires their shot. Score! Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah. And Pettenberg fires one. I don't think he even thought it went in. He fired one from the point, top shelf, past Moore, and Pettenberg.
Big old smile on his face.
There was, but originally he shot it and kind of just looked the opposite direction.
Yeah, that was an odd one. I don't think
it was a floater. We're seeing it now. Yeah, it went top bar down,
Yeah,
Eliza.
that
Bar
one
down
just-
on that one from the point.
that was an odd one. That's Pittsburgh's second goal of the season. And if I am correct, I believe his first goal of the season came right here on this sheet of ice back in December.
Buccaneers win the faceoff. Pettenberg with it, fires it back down.
I know Andrew Clark should have an assist on that.
Yep, you got the. Yep, Clark with the only assist on that one. Buccaneers make it a 3-1 hockey game early in the third period. Arneson fires a shot, tipped in front, goes up over the head of Cinco Escarbo all the way up into the protective netting. And we get a whistle, 18:44 of the third period. And
Yeah, just 48 seconds in, Piepenberg from Clark, and it was a great job by Clark to hold on to the puck in the slot, in the high slot rather. He was getting pressured by Omaha, and they kind of just backed off and let him do his thing. He was able to find Piepenberg, who shot it through, and it beat Moore. A very odd goal. We saw something similar to that back when Omaha played in Des Moines, where Harper was at the top of the point on the right side, just shot it to the net, and there was no transfer in front of Moore, and it was one that just should have had, and it went through odd, ended up being the game winner. Piepenberg shot from up high on the point, should have had it. It was just an odd floater on, and it goes in. But it's good for the Bucks, good for Piepenberg, who has his second goal of the season.
Lancers with it down on their defensive side of the ice, all the way up through center ice. Jodorowsky wins the battle here against Arneson. Sent over to the far side. Lancers are going to try to keep it in, not able to keep it in at the blue line as Buick falls down and goes up off the bench of the Lancers, and I'm going to get a face off outside the zone. 18-17 remaining in the period. A little talk, and Morgan chirping over to the Buccaneer bench from the Lancers bench. Not sure who he's chirping to. Needless to say, he had something to say as he went by the Buccaneer bench. Kernan with the face-off. Zelensky out there too. Birchill, Thorpe, and Dyer. Thorpe fires it down in deep. Well, Eliza, that's just, I've said it all season long. Throw it at the goaltender and see what happens. That's what happened on that last goal. Threw it at the net and went in.
I say we've been saying that all season long because you so often see just teams looking for the perfect pass.
Kernan with it down in offense. Nice shot on that. Moore with a save. Kernan with a little backhanded shot, and Moore comes up big for the Lancers. On the near side, Lancers play it. Bogus has it sent over to the far side. Up out of the zone it goes. Clark intercepts it. Back to Thorpe. Played by Barron. Clark full head of steam. Left hand, or to the left hand side to Barron. Sent over to the far side to Keevan. Loose puck off the half bench. Back up through center ice it comes. Here comes the Lancers 1-on-3 coming in and throws it towards the net. Cinco Escarbo with the glove save. It was going to go high anyway, and Cinco Escarbo just gloves it down.
Avoid that weird bounce off the end boards. You never know what will happen off the end boards, off the glass. We've seen that plenty of times this season where the puck's been flung in, it takes a weird bounce, then it ends up in the net.
Andrew Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers to the glove side. I think it was Garbo. Leo Kiss. Wittenberg out there for the Bucks and Barron. Tipped in front. Lancers got tripped up. Sent over to the far side to Keevan. Keevan off the half boards, gets it up to Kiss. Back to the near side. Barron to Clark. Clark has it for the Buccaneers. Chips it in. Intended for Keevan. And Lancers chip it up out of the zone. Played to the near side to Kroll. Kroll sent it to Clark. Long pass up to Keevan all the way down into the Lancers into the ring. Played to the near side. Theo Kiss chasing after it. Bailey comes up with it for the Lancers. Theo Kiss returns the favor and picks the puck right out of his pocket. Back and forth it goes. Bailey with a hard hit by Theo Kiss. Buccaneers set up in behind their own goaltender on the left-hand side. And the Bucks send it all the way up. Like I said earlier, it would be tough to hit the lighting in this arena, so they throw it all the way up. It'd be easier to hit the banners, all their championship banners above us, than it would be the lights, so all the way up through center ice. Buccaneers with it, Grosloss with it, right up to Deladonna, backhanded shot, just goes short of Moore, and the Lancers come up with the left-hand side, all the way up through the neutral zone, sends it all the way in, and Cinco Scarbo comes up and grabs it, hangs on to it, covers it up, actually. Well, I thought maybe this game might be a little chippy, but there is not really no chippiness at all after the stoppage of play there. Everybody just kind of skates away.
Yeah, you know, you've seen some words being said to each other, but
That's
really been the extent of
yeah,
everything
that's
we've
been
seen.
extent. Clean game, one penalty so far in the game. Then over to the far side, Lee with it for the Lancers, played off the inboards by Thorpe. Buccaneers come up with it, Kernan with it, and he fires it down. And icing right out front, shot on net, saved by Moore. Not sure how that wasn't icing.
Lonergan, he got his skates mixed up with Alstead, and Alstead was able to get past Lonergan, who fell down, so the icing was waved off because Alstead beat him to the puck and got a great look. Moore stoned him 5-hole.
Back to the far side on the right-hand side and behind Cinco Scarbo. Lancers play it, picked off by Thorpe. Thorpe all the way up through center ice, intended for Birchill. Lancers back to play it. Lancers circle around there and behind their own goaltender, sends it up to the near side. Berensky has it for the Lancers. Turnover. Rizkalov with it for the Buccaneers, sends it towards the net. Grosloss on the backhanded shot, just went wide of the goaltender. Off the half boards, down in deep. Berensky with it for the Buccaneers. Grosloss to the far side. Pippenberg with it. Off the half boards. Buccaneers with it. Deladonna fires it shot, never made it. Right out in front, Moore with the save on the chip in by Deladonna. We're going to immediate timeout. 14:32 left in the third period. Buccaneers up 3-1. Out shooting the Lancers 28-15.
Yeah, that look there, Bruce Golov. He was looking for Grosskloss out in front. Bit of a spin pass, find him out in front. Like we saw Omaha try that earlier in the game, but Sukin Lascarbo had a big save on that. Well, right now the Bucks, 4 shots so far this period, and I'm not sure if it's as accurate or not, but it is listed as 0 shots for the Lancers so far, and we are about 5.5 minutes into this period.
Yeah, they've had some shots there. Cinco Scarbo's had some save. He has grabbed the puck, and it was wide of the net or above the net, so probably a good call by the off-ice official.
And a couple times, you know, it's been trickling on. Maybe it's a little bit off to the side, and he covered it up, but no official shots on net for the Lancers so far. This period, Bucks have 4. That brings their shot total all the way up to 29 right now.
And the USHL this week, as I'm the head off-ice official at the Bucks Arena, sent out a email trying to get every USHL team on the same page of what a save is in this league. And so hopefully everybody off-ice official is taking note of that. And
a lot of it's subjective.
Yeah, it is. Played on the near side all the way down to the Buccaneer in the rink, up through center ice. Vocus has it for the Lancers. Across the blue line, played to the far side. Back to Barron. Barron right in front of his own goaltender. He's going to circle back around in behind Cinco Scarbo. Vocus putting some pressure on him from the Lancers. Pettenberg sends it to the far side. Up through center ice. Rizkalov dumps it in all the way down on the Lancers' defensive side of the ice. Vocus sets up in behind his own goaltender. Grosloss able to pick it off on the nice back check. To the near side. Back to Kroll, sent over to the far side, just below the blue line. Grosloss with it now. Deladonna to Barron. Fires a shot, tipped in front. Alstead with it. Off the inboards, off the back of the net, sent over to the far side. Alstead chips it off the corner to the near side. Hit on the near side. Alstead in there trying to dig it out. Kroll there too. Rosloff sends it to the far side. Carter picks it up for the Lancers. Deladonna in the corner trying to dig it out. Lancers come up with it. Played on the near side. Right up through the Pepsi logo. Bailey sends it all the way down into the Buccaneer in the ring. Still no shot on net. Went wide. I think Lascarbo played to the near side to Kroll. Kroll up to the near side. Curtin chasing after it. Zielinski right out in front of the net. Sent over to the far side. Morgan picks it up for the Lancers. All the way up through center ice, across center ice line. Alstead over to the far side. He was going to make a line change. Puck came right back to him. Now he's going to jump off the ice. And Theo Kiss comes on the ice. Sent down in deep. Jones picks it up in behind Moore. Sent to the far side to Lee. Back up through center ice. It comes down into the Buccaneer in the ring. Dorp has it right in front of his own goaltender, Cinco Lascarbo. Sets it up to the near side to Theo Kiss. Play to Zielinski. Zielinski with it now to the far side to Dyer. Clark just stretched the blue line. No offsides as Clark kept it onside. Right out in the high slot. Theo Kiss with it. Topped on the near side to Clark. Off the half boards. Back up to the near side. Barron with it for the Buccaneers. Sent to the far side. Now here the Buccaneers back to play defense. Clark had to put some good wax on it. And the Lancers still looking for their first shot on the net in this third period. Just under 12 minutes remaining in the third. Shot on net, Moore with a save, and he had a tough time with that one as Keevan was putting the pressure on him, but Moore was able to cover it up, and the Buccaneers get offensive face-off. 11:41 left in the third. 28 shots for the Buccaneers, 15 for the Lancers, 3-1 hockey game.
You know, even though he's not on the score sheet right now, I think Ben Keevan has had himself a fantastic night. He's been kind of just flying around. He's been making plays, disrupting plays, and he's had himself a good night. I'd say, for the most part, I'd say all the Buccaneers have had themselves a pretty solid night, even though only a couple of them have appeared on the score sheet. But that's not what it's all about. It's about making good plays.
Shot on net. Actually, no shot on net. Went wide of Cinco Lascarbo on a backhanded shot. And still no shot there. Audreski brings it down the opposite direction. And Audreski circles back around down the Buccaneers offensive side of the ice. Shot by Kroll, picked off. And here comes the Lancers up out of the zone down in the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Played to the far side. Chipped it off the far glass. Zielinski with it for the Buccaneers. Lancers finally get their first shot on net. If they get credit for that, Cinco Lascarbo with the save, and they do get credited for one shot. Back to the far side. Zielinski has it for the Buccaneers, able to bring it up out of the zone. To the near side. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone. Vocus sends it all the way down. High up over the head of Cinco Lascarbo, played by Thorpe to Kroll. Sent to the far side. Zielinski now has it for the Bucks. Up to Kernan. Kernan long pass up to Birchill. Birchill on the right-hand corner. Centering pass got broken up. Intended for Kernan on the near side. And the Lancers able to bring it up out of the zone. Bailey has it right through the Lancer logo. Focus with it for the Lancers. Sent to the far side. And Focus falls down. Not going to get a call here. Here's the left-hand side. Dyer across the blue line all the way down. He splits a couple of players, beats them to the puck on the inboards. 9:50 remaining in the third period. Sent to the far side, off the half boards. Kept in by Barron. Barron cycles back around. Turns it over. And the Lancers come up with it all the way down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Nice back check by Bettenberg. A lot of hands up in the air. In the arena here, not going to get a call. Going to stay penalty free in this period. Zielinski plays it on the near side. But back out through center ice it comes. Kroll has it for the Buccaneers, sent wide. And that's going to be icing waved off. That's gonna, oh my gosh, and they are all saying it's a terrible call. It just did not make it to the line. Lancers with it now, brings it in offsides. 9:02 left in the third period, 3-1 hockey game.
And maybe he caught a little bit of a break there on that ice and call that was waved off. I thought Zielinski would have been able to touch that, maybe slow it down and prevent the icing, but nonetheless, the icing was waved off. And I want to go back to that look the Lancers had down deep in front of Sequin Lascarbo. That was a fantastic look for Omaha, and like you mentioned, it went wide. You know, it slipped off the stick, tried to go near side post, forehand, backhand, but it didn't go. And I'd say that's a point in the game where you would love to have that be on net because you're down 2 goals. It's in the third period. At that time, I'd say there was still probably about maybe 12 minutes remaining or so. But put yourself in a position where you're only down 1 goal. You still can pull the goaltender, and you have a chance to tie it up. But still, right now, it's a 2-goal lead for the Bucks with 9:02 remaining in the game. So Buccaneers looking to hold on. They had a 3-1 lead against Dubuque last week. Although that was at the end of the first period, they were not able to hold on to that one. So the Buccaneers need to hold on to this lead with 9:02 left. Maybe add an insurance goal, or they might stick to the plan of just playing some solid D, keep the puck out of their own net. But we'll see what they do down the stretch here.
Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Kiss and Kevin out there too for the Bucks. Kroll, Buick out there too. 5 players out there for the Buccaneers on the far boards, off the inboards. Kevin comes up with it momentarily. Back and forth, gets held up just a little bit. Clark did. The Buccaneers able to force it all the way down on their offensive side of the ice. Centering pass right out front. Shot tipped in front and up over the head of Moore. That was a nice shot by Theo Kiss as he's spinning around and gets a shot off too.
Yeah, I think right there the Lancers, they were puck watching a little bit, and I've seen that all game, especially on the second goal that the Bucks scored, the Deladonna goal. The Buccaneers, they kind of just do their thing in the offensive zone, and they see the Lancers go on autopilot. So if you're the Lancers, just you gotta keep them stay in your place. Try to avoid puck watching and cover a man, get the puck.
Fire shot just goes wide. Bosaw sent it wide or more. Buccaneers keep it in at the blue line by Dyer. Send it to the far side. Bosaw with it. Tied up to the far side on the half board. Dyer comes up with it. Leaves it there for Thorpe. Fires a shot. Saved by Moore. Low angle shot by Thorpe. Glove saved by Moore. Right idea by Thorpe. But Moore did not give any rebound at all.
Yeah, Daniel Moore still searching for his first win as a Lancer. He won. His record on the season is 4-14-4, and all 4 of his wins were with the Waterloo Blackhawks before he got traded here, part of that Cameron Hendrickson deal that sent that all-star goaltender out to Waterloo.
Zelensky with it for the Buccaneers. Fires a shot up. Never made it. Played to the near side by Kernan. Loose puck to the far side. Back to play it is Kernan. Kernan with it now across the blue line. Leaves it for Alstead. To Kernan. Back out to center ice. Comes the Lancers back the other way across the blue line down into the Buccaneer into the ring. And the Buccaneers are going to take their first penalty of the evening. Zelensky's going to get a 2-minute minor for cross-checking. And nope, going to get a 2-minute minor for tripping. The Des Moines Buccaneers will be on the Des Moines printing penalty kill. 7:39 left in the third period.
Buccaneers, first penalty kill of the game, and right now the Buccaneers, like I said, on the penalty kill, and Zelensky going to the box for a trip, and the Buccaneers big penalty kill here. There's 7:39 left. If you're able to kill this off, it's about 5.5 minutes remaining. So do the Bucks this kill's pretty important.
Kernan with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Hit to the far side. Lancers pick it up. Back out to the point. Morgan with it for the Lancers. Off the half board. Circling back around. Top of the circles. High slot. Fires it right out in front. Oh, whiffed on it. And Kernan almost picked that. He would have been off to the races if he would have got control of that puck. Back to the near side, Logan Gurr. Back to Morgan. Fires a shot on net. Sinkle Scarborough with the save. Morgan has it top the high slot. Walks it in. Right-hand circle now. Takes it all the way in. Kernan getting a stick on it. Arneson plays it for the Lancers. Top of the circle again. Back to Arneson. Buccaneers doing a good job clogging all the lanes. Lancer fans want him to shoot. Not much to shoot at besides Buccaneer pad. Shot on net that time. As soon as I said, Sinkler Scarborough with the save. That one never made it in net, and the Buccaneers not able to clear it out. Kernan tried to clear it out. Kept in at the blue line by Morgan. High slot. Arneson with it. Blocked by Thorpe. Back to Arneson. To Morgan. Left-hand side. Top of the circle. Tries to walk it in. Fires it. Shot never made it. Blocked in front. And just 25 seconds left on the Des Moines Printing penalty kill here for the Buccaneers. 5:57 remaining in the third period. The Buccaneers looking to pick up their win tonight over here in Omaha. Michaels back around just below the blue line. High slot shot on net, saved by Sinkler Scarborough. Late to the left-hand side. Sets up in behind Sinkler Scarborough. Zielinski back on the ice. 5-on-5 hockey for the Buccaneers. That was a good penalty kill, Eliza, for the Bucs.
Lancers were in the offensive zone the entire 2 minutes. The Bucs gave them absolutely nothing to work with there.
Yeah, Sinkler Scarborough with a couple of good saves there.
And a lot of really good blocks as well by D as well, I'd like to point out.
Played to the near side. Now Kroll sets up in behind his own goaltender. Grosloff down in deep. Behind the cage. Sinkler Scarborough up to Thorpe. Goloff able to just chip it down into the Lancers defensive side of the ice. Played to the far side. All the way up through center ice. Picked off by Kroll. Kroll sends it back in deep. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third period. Back up through center ice it comes. Down in to the Bucksing. Lee with it. Fires a shot. Never made it. Shot up over the head of Sinkler Scarborough. Loose puck on the side of the net. Sinkler Scarborough just going to cover it up. A little pushing and shoving after the whistle. Everybody's going to skate away. And this game's going to continue on. And
yeah, big save there by Sinkler Scarborough. I want to go back to the power play chance for the Lancers. I know I brought it up briefly, but the entire 2 minutes were spent in the Buccaneers' offensive zone. They're doing a very good job of holding it in. Kernan got a chance, but Morgan held it in at the blue line. Just a lot of passing around. The Bucs just kept them to the outside. Every time they tried to shoot it, it got blocked, or Sinkler Scarborough was able to get a stop. So great PK by the Bucs. Fantastic job, but also you got to give the Lancers some props for being able to hold the offensive zone the entire 2 minutes. You don't see that very often, I feel like.
Yodreski with the face-off gets kicked out of the face-off circle. Keevan in there to take the face-off to the stick side of Sinkler Scarborough in their defensive side of the ice. That's locked with the face-off for the Lancers. The Buccaneers win the face-off with Theo Kiss. Theo Kiss up through the neutral zone, sends it down in deep. Keevan took a hard hit up against the near side. And he's rubbing his chin just a little bit. I think he's going to the He even got hurt there. He's headed right to the bench.
Yeah, Dakota Bailey was the one that hit him there, and Keevan's going to the bench. He was shaking his head, feeling his face a little bit, and he's in some pain.
Doesn't look. Nick's going to take a quick look at him over there, but we'll see how if Keevan may able to make it back out. Didn't look like a vicious hit, just kind of weird. It looked like as his head tilted back after he got the hit. Down in deep it goes to the left of Moore. Not able to keep it in, or not able to get it out. Even with it back to Thorpe, high slot. Centering pass right out in front, not able to put it on net. Here comes the Lancers up out of the zone. Down into the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Off the end boards, Buccaneers come up with it. Dyer plays it to Zielinski. Centering pass broken up by Kernan. All the way up through center ice it comes. Buccaneers looking for their 12th win of the season on the road. And as soon as I say that, the Lancers get one past Sequel Scarborough as I look down at the Buccaneers record there. 3:13 left in the third period. And it's 3-2 hockey game as the Lancers bring it within one.
Branko Vukic with the goal from distance there as well. Second goal of the season for him. He just get the shot off quick. It beats Sequel Scarborough.
That
There was
song again.
a bunch of traffic in front, including some of his own players, some on the other team. But right now, it's a one-goal game. That's a big goal for the Lancers. I think there's some.
And that good news, Keevan's back out on the ice. Looks like he does have maybe a bloody top lip there for Keevan. Hard to tell. He's on the opposite side of the ice while we are, but maybe a little bit of blood on Keevan. Back to the far side. Buick with it for the Buccaneers. Now Keevan comes up with it. And Keevan on the right-hand side. Tried to send it over to Theo Kiss. Got blocked. Clark back to play that center ice. And we'll see how soon the Lancers pull a goalie, if they pull him. Played on the near side. Lancers pick it up in behind their own goaltender. Now the fans are getting a little noisy. Wow. Lancers are pulling their goalie. Is there a penalty? Lancers pulled their goalie. Fires a shot. Score! As Keevan puts it in the empty net, and that will make him feel better.
I have never seen that
I've never
before.
seen that before in my life. Why did they pull their goalie when they had the puck in their defensive zone?
And Keevan was actively pressuring the player with the puck as well. That was an interesting move. And so Keevan, he just took the big bump. He's hurting a little bit. He gets the empty net goal, which is big for the Bucks, but that is odd. I have not seen that before. Where they're holding the puck in their own zone. Keevan actively pressuring the puck, and they pull the goaltender, and Keevan just has a
why would you pull the goalie in your defense? I had to look around. I thought there was a delayed penalty on the Buccaneers.
I don't blame you. I thought there was too. That is odd.
I looked around for the guys wearing the orange stripes, and I didn't see an arm up or anything. And we'll take it. I'm not complaining that we scored an empty net goal, but it was odd that I don't know. Never seen that before. Back to play, back down in the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice, and now he's not coming out at all.
He's looking at the bench right now.
You'd think they would pull him again here. But yeah, I didn't get that. Back up through center ice. Jones has it. Buccaneers send it in deep. Yardreski with it. Maybe it's just a little bit miscommunication there for the Lancers. Maybe they thought they were going to bring it up out of the zone, but they didn't. Lancers to the
Here
far
comes Moore
side.
to the bench.
Yep, Moore's going to the bench this time. They pulled him at the right time this time. At least they had the puck down in the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Well, let's see if the Buccaneers can get another empty net here. Sent to the near side. Lancers next to us are not happy with what they're seeing on the ice. Sent over to the far side. Arneson picks it up for the Lancers in behind the empty net. And geez, they just about scored on themselves there. And then here comes the Lancers all the way up through center ice. Dyer with it for the Buccaneers. Played on the near side. 1 minute remaining in the period. The Buccaneers are going to get another. Oh, they came in offsides.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
The Bucks, they would have had an empty net goal, but came in offsides.
Yep. Burchill looking for the goal, shaking his head and way offside there. I think Theo Kiss the way offside. 54.9 seconds remaining in the period. The Buccaneers are going to pick up their 12th win on the season, and they're going to put them to 22-34-0 overall record.
I believe they did change the goal scorer for Omaha. I said it was Branko Vukic, but it looks like Hugo Daniel got a tip in front, or went off him some way or another into the back of the net. So that second Omaha goal was Hugo Daniel from Branko Vukic and David Harubi. And then the Bucks' empty net goal is Keevan from Clark. And I still
look at Clark there, 2 assists tonight for Clark.
I still think that was a very odd.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that one for a little while. It'll be interesting to ask Frank down there, their broadcaster, why he thought of that.
Odd timing, in my opinion. But As we just saw there, Burchell had an empty net staring at it, but Kiss was a little too excited, entered in offside, goal waved off, and right now Moore is back in his net. We're going to have a neutral zone face-off at the Lancers blue line, and he'll head off. 54. Oh,
What?
yep. Yep, he'll head off.
Well, they got nothing to lose. They've got 7 wins on the season, and I think that last goal is about the way their season has gone this year. But they pulled the goalie, extra attacker out there, and they're going to win the face-off. So bring it in across the blue line all the way down to the Buccaneers defense side. Wittenberg ties them up on the end board, centering pass out front, and the puck kept in at the blue line by Jones.
Good keeping.
Yeah, they had a very good keep in, and now the Buccaneers are able to clear it out with 35 seconds remaining and icing waved off. He had plenty of time to get there. Jones was just not even skating towards the puck. Back down in the Buccaneer end of the rink, played on the near side. Back up to center ice. The Buccaneers trying to get another empty net goal here. 15 seconds remaining in the period.
I got a little excited when I saw Sequin Lascarbo heading out of his net.
High hit there.
Maybe a goalie goal.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Last time a Bucks got a goalie goal would have been Roman Durney. A little throwback for the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think it was around the 2018-2019 mark, but
Well,
Bucks pick up a
Eliza,
win.
good road win here tonight for the Buccaneers, and
They win their lone road,
Yeah.
or the lone game this weekend, rather.
Yeah.
They play Tuesday back at home against the Blackhawks. That'll be a good matchup, Dupaco matchup, but big win for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Every game, like you said, Tony, is important. 2 points.
back at home Tuesday night, 6:30 game. $1 hot dogs. Come out to the Recplex as Buccaneers take on Waterloo. And I think we're going to sign off here. Thanks for watching on YouTube, or listening on YouTube and watching on Flow Sports. Elijah and I signing off here. Thanks for listening.